Welcome back to Cityline. With me, I have three individuals who I think know the Tacoma Waterfront better than anybody else in Tacoma, and they're here to prove it. Please join me in welcoming the transformations of the Tacoma Waterfront. We have John Mccarthy, President of the Port of Tacoma Commission. Welcome back, John.
Thank you, Amanda, for having me.
Good to have you. And of course, that wickedly wonderful wife of yours. We love her so much. So send our love to her as well, okay? And then Patricia Peterson, you are the director of the Tacoma Waterfront Association. And should I call you Patty?
Patty is fine. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome, my dear. And then rounding out the trinity here is Mr. Tom Ebenhoe, founder of Friends of the Foss and member of the Tacoma Waterfront Association. Welcome, Tom. It's good to see your face.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
I am so excited to have the three of you on here today because today you've launched a series of Facebook Live virtual events you're getting ready to launch called Transformations of Tacoma Waterfront. And to give a little context to these events, I first want to give our viewers a little information about the two driving forces behind this Facebook Live series. And that would be the Tacoma Waterfront Association and the Friends of the Foss. So Patricia, let's start with you. Since you're the director of the Tacoma Waterfront Association, could you tell our viewers a little bit about your organization and what it does?
I'd be delighted. We actually have a two-pronged mission. First off, we're a venue for conversation, discussion, and education about topics that are important to folks that care about the Tacoma Waterfront. We also sponsor organizations and events that bring people down to that waterfront, both for them to be able to enjoy it, as well as to gain a better understanding of why it matters to continue to improve and take care of it. We do take our goal of providing a venue for discussion very seriously. We are the only organization in Tacoma that is focused exclusively on the Tacoma Waterfront. And as all of you probably are well aware, and represented by the three of us here, quite frankly, the Tacoma Waterfront has conflicting missions between industry and business, recreation, and residents. And we take the challenge of working to help coordinate those three missions very, very seriously. We love to bring people down to the waterfront, both to learn about it and to enjoy it. And we do host events on the waterfront, including our now famous all-you-can-eat crab feed, which we're doing as a drive-through this year. So stand by for that.
I love that. Oh, and my goodness, I'd also heard that there was going to be clam chowder in there, maybe. So I'd maybe one, both, or all of them. How's that? Tom, you were one of the founders of a volunteer group that is a part of the Tacoma Waterfront Association called Friends of Foss. What a great name. Tell us about that and how it came to be and what its main functions are.
Absolutely. Yeah, what started about 3 years ago, Norm Golub, the executive director of the Foss Waterway Development Authority, he hosted an event and a call for community volunteers to kind of brainstorm some ideas on how to reactivate the downtown waterfront. So from that, started with a few volunteers with a budget of 100% of zero, started the Friends of the Foss. We worked hard to get sponsorship and funding, and were able to have 2 years of a series of summer concert outdoor festivals. And we're planning another this summer. Thank you to our Tacoma Creates. And we were also very fortunate to partner and become a subcommittee with the Tacoma Waterfront Association. And I'd say our main functions are really to bring more activities and artists and music to the waterfront and to really showcase all that the downtown waterfront has to offer, especially with its proximity to the downtown and the downtown core, downtown waterfront restaurants. And we promote equity, inclusion, and diversity in everything that we do in our planning. And we are continuing to expand our different partnerships with nonprofits and other community groups so they all can be part of our programming.
Fabulous. So I think the question is, Tom, is how do these two groups come together to reenact the waterfront and these events as a way for everyone to feel like this is their waterfront? Because partnerships can be difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. So it really started again with our partnerships and our different sponsors, and really our volunteer support and that commitment to make it happen. It does take funds to happen, but also takes a lot of effort and planning, coordinating long days to do it. Without all that, it would never happen. We also had support from the nonprofits and businesses and our city leadership. Mayor Woodard's, Councilman Mello did a kickoff introduction for our series. Councilman Toms was very supportive and behind us and how he helped to promote it. And to help it really make it feel like it was community, their waterfront. We intentionally planned different types of music and that there was something for everyone. We had the Reptile Man, which brought in kids and kids at heart to the event. We also had an information table with free popcorn and hot dogs. And then our second year, we invited small businesses and local businesses and nonprofits to participate, such as like Downtown on the Go, Safe Streets, organizations like Pierce and Sound Transit. So there was something for everyone to be a part of, listen to music, eat, support our local merchants, and really connect with those community resources that we had for them. So it was really an inclusive event.
So now you've really set yourself up, because the next question is, here we go. So due to our corona pandemic situation, everybody is shifting, and you're shifting from live concerts to a series of virtual Facebook live events called Transformation of Tacoma's Waterfront, which is amazing. So tell us a little bit about what the first show will look like.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we are really thrilled about that. And I think a lot of our partners in different other organizations that we're with, and we see when we're with our Tacoma Creates and some of those organizations, really we had to pivot a lot due to the pandemic. So as a result of that, we're going to have a Facebook Live event. Mark your calendars, Saturday, August 29th at 12. Saturday, August 29th at 12. We're still finalizing that script, but you can look forward to music from Rod Kuhn and friends, a conversation, question and answer with Bill Barsma and John McCarthy. And we really want to do is showcase the history of the waterfront in the Port of Tacoma from where we were to now and to our future. And this is the kickoff event, August 29th. And what we're going to be planning at least a series of 3, and 1 for September and 1 for October. So stay tuned and mark your calendars for this month.
Oh, boy, you guys have been busy. You haven't been resting on your laurels, as we say. So, Mr. John, you've been waiting patiently here. Thank you for that. You'll be covering some of the highlights of the shipping and the port in this upcoming events. But today, I would like you to say a few words about how the railroad played a pivotal role in transforming Tacoma's waterfront back in the 1800s.
Yes, thanks, Amanda. And we have a few slides to show as well. When the Northern Pacific Railroad chose Tacoma as the western terminus of its transcontinental line back in 1873, it was the catalyst for one of the first major transformations of Tacoma's waterfront. Tacoma's population skyrocketed from 1,098 people in 1800 to 36,000 in 1890. This next photo shows many tall-masted ships which are calling at these facilities in the late 1800s.
I love that, John. The photos are beautiful. So, John, what were some of the major cargoes moving in and out of Tacoma's waterfront during those early days?
They were mainly the natural resources that we had in the region, such as lumber, logs, grain, and coal. Those were some of the major cargoes being shipped out of Tacoma's docks that lined Commencement Bay.
And boy, to this day, it still continues, doesn't it?
Some of the other cargoes that we have included also grain, which was a major export commodity from the Tacoma waterfront. At the time of this next picture, the time it was taken in 1920, Tacoma had 4 flour mills. We were the largest flour producing area west of Minneapolis and Kansas City. Even today, grain is the largest bulk export commodity moving through our harbor.
Wow, John, great information. So Patty, after hearing all of that, all the history and the transformation, let's talk about tomorrow. So what's the vision for the future?
Well, the vision is to continue all 3 of those conflicting priorities moving forward. But a couple I'd really like to talk about are the parks that are planned down on the Foss, starting with Melanie Dressel Park, which is going to be breaking ground next year as a children's play park. It's named after Melanie Dressel, which I suspect many of our viewers will know is the late chairman of Columbia Bank and quite a member of our community. The second park is Waterway Park, and that one's going to not break ground until 2024, but is a sorely needed recreational piece of our puzzle. It will be up at the head of the Foss. It will be a neighborhood park for the Dome District, but its primary purpose will be to serve as a spot for human-powered watercraft, everything from dragon boats to outriggers to kayaks and stand-up paddleboards. There's also been a feasibility study for a boat launch, which we all know is very sorely needed along the waterfront. So those have been sponsored by the Foss Waterway Development Association and their leader, Norm Golub, and will be turned over to Metropolitan Parks as they're created.
Wow, can't wait for that. So Patty, my last question here is, let's give our viewers just a little teaser, a little snippet, but not too much. We want to give away too much about what they're going to see on August 29th on that Facebook Live event.
Well, I think many people are a little bit familiar with Rod Kuhn, who has become a community standout with he and his band. And this whole event started focused on Rod and his little band because we love his music. And he has been doing neighborhood concerts and donating funds collected for the COVID relief efforts in Tacoma. So we were really happy to be able to bring him along. And as we started planning, we decided that rather than have one person do the whole thing, we would bring such outstanding community people such as John McCarthy, and we really value him donating his time as the president of the Port Commission. He is so busy. Bill Barsma, who had such a hand as the mayor of Tacoma in transforming what was an industrial wasteland into the lovely waterfront we have today. Both of them are wonderful storytellers. They have great history. You'd swear they lived it. And interspersed with Rod and his music, it should be just a lovely educational and fun event.
You know, I've said it and I'll say it again. Nobody makes history more fun than John McCarthy and former Mayor Bill Barsma. You just want to sit at their feet and listen forever. So I want to say thank you to all 3 of you and to the wonderful volunteers and the teammates that we could not get into my kitchen on this segment. And I want to wish you luck, and I will be there on August 29th virtually, watching with my own hot dog and my own popcorn. And I'd love to have you back before the next segment comes out. Is that a deal?
That's a deal.
Deal.
Right. Well, that wraps up another great segment of City Line. It is a pleasure to zoom into your home. And as always, Tacoma has so many great things going on. But most importantly, right now, please wear your mask, wash your hands, keep yourself socially distant, but please reach out to your neighbors and your loved ones. Keep them close in your heart. And when you're done with that, I'll be waiting for you right here on City Line. Take care.
Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Oh, you're from Seattle. Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Oh, you're from Seattle. Oh, you're from LA. Oh, you're from Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. From the fires to the loam.